Blue Bag Bonanza, the Sedgefield side of Sona, and Polarising Politics.
My name is Chris.
And my name's Bomber.
And you're about to listen to This Week in Sedgefield.
And it's slightly late because Chris has not been well.
Oh. I prefer not to talk about it, but I'm sick.
Are you sick? Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
He says, calling me into a closed room with closed doors and closed windows.
Yep. Many of those. Yeah.
Okay,
several.
I hope I don't catch you sick.
I also hope so. I just wish you'd stop talking about it. I think we should all just stop talking about how sick I am.
Yeah,
And
well,
how sick everyone is. Have you actually noticed around town?
everyone's talking about how sick you are.
every single person. It's actually getting awkward.
Well, I was actually sitting in a pub next to a guy who was physically sick. He
really?
vomited.
Whoa.
Yeah, I said, funny you should bring that up.
You're blaming that on me? Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, almost
I missed
missed
it. I
joke.
missed it.
Almost missed joke.
Oh, I'm so glad I caught you eventually.
Anyway, good day, Chris. How are
good
you?
day. Yes, I'm sick. I've just were you not paying attention?
Not at all.
But there are a bunch of people who are around town who are getting sick, and
wow.
the theory that I heard this morning was that it's the swallows.
Oh.
Not the actual swallows. The people
Don't
who
swallow.
Yes, them.
Okay.
Of course. The ones who are coming in from Europe and all
Oh, I
around.
see.
That
The
they-
swallows. Yes.
that
yeah.
they bring in the germs that we're just not
Okay.
used to.
The
and
germ, not Germans.
No,
the
those were
germs.
blamed as well. People just
Okay.
like to blame
any
Germans.
Swallows. Any swallows.
Any of those.
So you're getting like overseas flu.
Probably.
Bosh,
but
eh?
That's hard, dude. I don't just do the
Exotic flu.
It's not just the South African stuff. You can tell the difference.
No, yeah, you can,
You
yeah.
just look at it and you know. People have just and they're talking about it, huh? They're talking.
But they're talking very, very la-di-da about it.
Exactly, yeah. But I think it's because all the schools are back, and that's just a
yes.
bit of a stew of germs.
That's it, I'm sure.
Lots
it
of
is.
Germans.
Lots of germs
Lots of
being
germs.
spread about.
Yeah, no, they are.
Anyway.
huh? And a lot of discussion around town, about a bunch of different things. And I think we've kind of reached a time in our town and in our time and in our country for a lot of big major issues. And one of the biggest ones, of course.
Apart from you being sick.
Yes, no, that's
Bigger than that.
I mean, the neck and neck.
Neck and neck.
Let's put it
Okay.
there, yeah.
Right, okay.
Is, of course, the blue bags.
Oh, the blue bag.
I mean, it was the Sona address, but more importantly,
No, the blue bag
blue
address.
bags.
The blue bag address is, yeah.
The blue bag address.
It's really caused a stir.
It has, it most definitely has. And even
yeah.
with me, honestly. So the blue bag address, can you give us some context? I'm sure everyone's heard bits about it, but let's see if we can sort of tie some knots in it.
Tie some knots in it. Try and unravel it. And ring fence it.
Try and dump it.
Put
Try
a nail in it and
Yes.
leave it for some. Okay, so what happened was we were told by various councillors, the municipality,
The powers
in
that
fact,
be.
that you now, for your garden refuse, you mustn't put it in
Green bags. It was in green bags, yeah.
okay anymore. You must put it in blue bags,
The blue bags.
which are available at the municipality.
Yeah. So it's not just any blue bags.
It's
is
the
one of the
municipal blue bags.
The municipal.
You're not allowed to go anywhere else for your blue bags.
Do you think they're made out of those water meters that never got used? We
Possibly,
found a purpose
yes.
for it.
What are we going to melt them and make bags out of them?
Not a bad use,
Stroke
maybe.
of genius. Yeah. So the basic thing is the system for getting rid of garden refuse used to be. Well, in fact, let's go back.
Let's go back
bag
to the days of yore.
2 times prior to the blue bag. So you used to use a green bag. So you have to use the blue bag. You have to buy it at the municipality. And we had various, on social media, we had various reports as to what they cost.
Yes.
The most expensive I saw was 290 Rand for 10.
Whoa, okay, I'm not
But
going to
then
buy
somebody
those
else
ones.
said,
I heard 190.
someone else said 190 for 20.
Oh, I saw 190 for 10.
Oh, yeah, you see, so there's different prices. But anyway,
Okay.
nobody has said, wow, they're so cheap.
Yes,
Everyone
that's
has
the point.
complained.
Yeah.
And everyone has raised the point, why must I buy blue bags at the municipality, which cost an absolute fortune,
Yeah.
where I can buy them at No advertising here, please, folks. Agri hardware stores. Blah 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 blah.
I like blah, 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 blah. That's a good, it's a good store.
And Sons.
They have lovely sweeties.
They do. They do. So everyone was up. And understandably.
Yeah.
Because
no, totally.
Why
That's
change
a
the
lot.
system? And why
That's
must
sort of
we
working,
buy expensive bags at the municipality? Who's making money out of this?
Yeah.
But under investigation, when I say investigation, it's not like I walked around with a magnifying glass and met up with people in the dark of night and that sort of thing.
You're doing that anyway, so it just helped, you know.
So I basically fired off an email to the great guy who's a spokesperson for the municipality, and I said, "What's the deal with the bags? Because everyone's upset."
Yeah.
So basically, he explained that it's not a new thing. The municipality has always charged for getting rid of your garden refuse. Garden refuse. Before, if I remember correctly, you would load it in a bakkie, or you'd pay someone to load it into their bakkie.
Yeah.
But either way, when the bakkie was to take it to the garden refuse site, they had to purchase a permit of sorts from the municipality.
Okay.
And then take it to the garden refuse site, show that they had bought a permit, and then offload. Now, that is how it was supposed to work.
Okay, so that was the system.
That was the system. Now, I'm not saying
system.
everyone stuck to that system.
Yeah.
I'm not saying even the municipality stuck to that system. But that was the system in place. So now, enter the blue bags.
The blue bags.
The money that you're paying for a blue bag is not just for the very thin microfiber.
It's only blue when you hold it up to the sky. During the day.
It's blue like a Scotsman's tan. It's not for that plastic bag that you're paying. You're paying for the whole service. So. For your 10 Rand, 20 Rand, 15 Rand, who knows how many Rand a bag, you are paying not just for the bag, you're paying for the municipal man to come to your house when he's doing his rounds, load it into the back of a vehicle and offload it somewhere else.
Right.
So if you use someone else's blue bag, as in from wherever one of the other outlets you've only paid, say, 20 cents a bag or a Rand a bag. You haven't paid the municipality for that service.
They're not getting that,
So that's basically what it is.
Okay.
So it's a storm in a tea bag.
Yeah.
Is that right? I don't know. And
Storm in a blue bag.
I've said before, don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
That is how it's supposed to work. I'm not saying it will work because quite often municipal things don't work
they change
or have
up a
been
bit.
abused, but that's how the system is supposed to work. So that is why you're paying more money for your bag.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. Because kind of going there and seeing the garden refuse site and all that, and seeing the chippers and them cleaning up, and their people always being there to, I don't know about always, but being there to actually work it. Like, they've got to be drawing cash from somewhere. There's got to be a way.
Because at one stage, about 4 or 5 months ago, it was a nightmare.
Oh, man, yeah.
It was like a fire ready to happen.
Oh, that's true. Yes, that's a very, very good point. Okay, so you're saying you highly recommend that we buy these bags?
Oh, no,
I'm not throwing you in there. I'm not going to do that.
The
no, absolutely not.
No, you can do what you want.
I can do what I want. Bomber's
Just
advice.
don't be angry on social media, please.
Stop being angry.
Yeah.
People do like to get angry on social media.
They do, don't they?
And it has most certainly been a week and a time.
Oh, my goodness,
in human history for people getting angry on social media.
My goodness, yes.
Let's talk a little bit now. We're not going to get in depth on any of these. We're just going to have some thoughts and try to tie it in as best as we can to our quaint little twine.
Yes.
Our quaint little twine. Our quaint little town, with remarks from Trump, from Ramaphosa,
oh my goodness,
from the big thing, land expropriation for nil compensation.
Yeah.
Oh, that. I mean, that's going to cause tension in just a normal discussion, and then you throw it into social media, and that's where a lot of it
put it in the mouth of
Oh
Mr.
man,
Trump.
yes, exactly.
Who
Who specifically
clearly
said
engages mouthpiece without putting brain into
that's
gear
right.
sometimes.
Yeah, and that's that was kind of one of the big excuses that hey, he's just saying an opinion. It's what you do on social media. You just kind of throw out a thought.
Yeah.
And it was, hey, land is being grabbed in South Africa. Gonna have a look
Yeah.
in this. I mean, there was already funding being cut. So he's just gonna jump in and
he didn't really throw out a thought. He said,
Yeah.
I'm cancelling all aid to South Africa.
Yeah. No, that was even before. And then he's kind of backed that up with this, saying, okay, now I've got a really good reason for doing it. Which, oh man, it absolutely it throws off a whole lot of this.
There's,
creates a storm in a blue bag.
It's created a storm.
Almost as big as this blue bag
What I
thing.
find sometimes wonderful and sometimes not wonderful, I suppose.
Yeah.
The opposite of wonderful, terrible. But it kind of, when you have say a family member who is maybe a little bit annoying. Yeah, that uncle who always eats the last piece of cheesecake, or something, something like that.
Uncle Palmer, yeah.
Darn, how did you know? You'll turn to your brother and say, "Geez, that uncle." But if someone else from outside your family says, your uncles are real, Wally, you'll go, "Dude,
Hey, how could
don't speak to about
good
my
point.
uncle like that."
Yeah.
And some people are stepping in
Yeah.
for Cyril and going, "Hey, here's our president. You wind your neck in, Mr. Donald Trump.
Yeah, there we go.
Don't talk like that about our country."
Yes.
Okay, but there are other people, South African people,
Yeah.
who are saying, "All hail ye, Mr. Trump."
And no one in between.
And no one in between.
But it is there is so much division happening on this.
Oh, it's scary.
And it's why
absolutely scary.
Man, it's why good discussion is super important in
It is.
this.
And gentle discussion. Yeah. Not so gentle that it becomes mundane and
Yes. We can be polite about this
polite.
nonsense.
Yeah. We can offload,
Yeah.
but in a non-attacking way.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
that's
you can attack
challenging.
the politicians
That's
that
what
aren't
they're there
there
for.
at the time and say, "This is what this guy says and it drives me mad."
Yeah.
But don't attack the person who's listening to you because they have a different
That's it.
political view.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, there are such difficult things, and one of the, and this is throwing in for that discussion. This is not me landing on conclusions. This is saying, hey, I hear a lot of one side of it. Honestly, because I'm on X, I'm on Twitter, which is more conservative, more that way leaning.
Well,
owned by Musk. No, exactly.
Mr. Musk.
Yeah. And we hear a lot, and what I've been a bit discouraged by and hearing from is kind of very one-sided, and this happened a while ago as well with AfriForum. Kind of coming out, and they were the guys who sent like a whole contingency over to the States to say, hey, there are in this case it was farm murders, and we're not going to go all into that.
Way back, yes.
Yeah, that was way back then. They were then, and that's when Trump and I think Elon Musk was one of them, that they did their big tweet of, it was Trump saying, very concerning to hear about all these farm murders. And then there was another journalist, Dan Corder, who
does the podcast.
Does a podcast, and I don't agree with everything that he says, but he also had a very interesting take on it, a good conversation, a good fact-based one, where he was pulling out some different things, and there was kind of good discussion on it. But the discussion, and I put it in quotation marks, that you see over social media is not really that. There aren't a lot of people's minds being changed. It's very forceful. It's this is what is going to happen. This is what will happen. And it gains a lot of popularity because it's quite extreme and it pulls very much apart. But it doesn't help us really land on a place where we can actually all agree. Where we can compromise, where we can learn to live with each other.
It's polarizing conversation.
Yeah, very good.
That's what it is. And I think that's what's happening in politics all over the world, in my opinion. Yeah. There's no one in the middle. There's no one who's saying,
not even Malcolm.
Not even Malcolm.
Malcolm in the middle. Yeah.
There's no one saying, well, what the far right are saying is terrible, but there's some merit in some bits of it. What the far left are saying is terrible, but there's some merit in some of it. Let's bring those bits together and see if we... There's no one doing that.
Yeah, where's the
You're
common
either
ground?
far right or far left. You can't be far middle. Far middle?
Far middle. Oh, there's probably... People
Far
can be
middle.
anything. It's 2025, apparently.
Yes, yeah. I can identify as far middle. Yes. Okay.
You've done it.
Yo, this is dangerous ground.
I know, it is.
It's very dangerous
It absolutely.
ground. Yeah.
But
for
also,
a little one-horse town podcast.
Yeah.
Well, we have 5 horses, don't we? On that
No.
fence, yeah.
Well, they were. That's the next tragic story. No, they're all fine. They're all good. We got a vet right there, of course. No, but a lot of this is what came out and why so many people were listening and very much engaged with the State of the Nation address.
Oh, the Sona.
Yeah, the Sona.
Yes, yeah. You did a bit of work on that, didn't you?
I did a little bit, yeah. Kind of
So tell us about it.
So, every year we listen in for what's the big thing that's going to happen. And I know there are a lot of people who just look for the fashion on the night, which of course, it's just outstanding. I don't know why they dress up, man. I don't get that. But
it's outstanding like my electricity account.
Yes, you don't want to look at it, but you have to.
Yes. Yeah. You need to pay attention.
So amidst a lot of this, and you can hear almost in your head and actually out loud, people cheering as soon as Ramaphosa does go to a slightly more extremist position, saying we will not be bullied, and then we've got big applause, and you understand because people feel very strongly.
And also, he's always been the diplomat.
Exactly,
he's always been the never tread on anyone's toes. And there are times when you want your president to be a little bit more than that. Yeah, and sometimes. Now you can go back to being a diplomat.
That's it, and we want him to be that when he does kind of what we want.
Yeah, isn't that true?
Tis the nature of the game in there.
Yeah.
So we won't go into all of those different parts of it, but some of the interesting things that he brought up and that he spoke about that have kind of direct relevance for us was his speaking about how just kind of our infrastructure in South Africa is struggling. That there is the midterm development plan over the next 5 years or so, 20 billion rand being poured in for small businesses, but people who are either previously disadvantaged, women, disabled people, people who maybe don't have as many opportunities is the kind of phrase, which is also incredibly contentious, and we won't delve too much into that because I still maintain, and I think a lot of us would, that the best place for jobs to be created is not necessarily from government, although there are great jobs created there, but it's
the private sector, small
the private
business.
sector, and we see that happening, in Knysna municipality especially. But the big one that I thought was very interesting and very relevant to us was speaking about the local government reforms, municipality reforms.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, there we go. Just scrap the whole system.
Before you go in there, though, my brain was thinking of the midterm development fund that you were talking about, and I thought, well, if we could sort of acronym part of that, it would be the MT Development Fund.
The MT.
Yes. Which is pretty much part of South Africa. Anyway. Sorry. Going back to the local government thing.
Which is very much on that. Because there are a lot of local municipalities, smaller municipalities who are really struggling. And it's this thing. And it's kind of I'll get to my conclusion of it right before we start, of the whole thing.
Okay. I have to tell you, audience, that he's waving his arms around quite wildly here. I fear for my life.
I've knocked over at least 4 flowers.
Yes. He broke one.
But that's just because I'm sick. So the big conclusion for me is that we're not getting the small things right. So why are we aiming for the big things? A lot of these big things are really good ideas. I don't agree with a lot of the execution, but I'm not president, and I shouldn't be the one to make all these rules because I'd probably jack it up worse than anybody, and I understand that. But if we got potholes and basic infrastructure that's not working, and then we're going, we're G20ing and all these things like that. And I know all contentious, everything like that. So that's my big hoopla. Officially my hoopla. But looking down at the small local ones, and this is where I was excited that he was speaking about it, saying that they're going to update the white paper with modern fit-for-purpose governments.
That was the phrase you mentioned earlier, and I love that.
Yeah, fit-for-purpose.
Fit-for-purpose local government.
It flew straight over my head. Why do you like it?
Well, fit-for-purpose means designed for that particular purpose. So if to use an example, a plastic bag that happens to be blue in color is made for the sheer purpose of collecting garden refuse and taking it to the site. And there's nothing else for it. Don't use it
Don't mess
as
around with
a cooking utensil. Don't wear it as a jacket. It's fit for purpose. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So if we could have local government, in other words, no extra, no fancy bits.
Yes.
It doesn't need electric windows. It doesn't need a special library of computers.
Yes,
it needs to be fit for purpose to get the job done. Yeah.
Okay. No, I think I'm more on board. I think I understand a bit more why you're keen for that. Yes. Because if we just boil it down to what should the role of the local government be, of the municipality be, and just like have a short list of those and then knock those out. And that's exactly what old George Millet from Argentina went in. And that's also where, the guy who you're a big fan of, Elon Musk, Doge,
sorry, I'm going to bring something up.
Department of Government Efficiency.
Yes.
The billions, and it's maybe not all good where they're saving it, but they're saving a whole bunch.
Did you hear what you said there? Department of Government Efficiency.
Yes.
Isn't that a...
yes, exactly. And that's why it's called that, the DOGE, because it's saying it's so duper inefficient. And hopefully that's going to be what this looks at, boiling it down to how can this actually be more efficient? Why are we paying so much for that? It's like where they're finding, it's ludicrous, the things that they're finding, where the US taxpayers, where their money has gone. And we know about this in kind of our municipality, in our country, because there are places that the amount of kind of wasted expenditure. I can't remember the stat from kind of our budget, our unfunded budget in NISA, but it's egregious.
Yeah,
it's egregious.
Egregious. Well, funny that I received I think it was an online notice of sorts today.
Yeah,
I'm looking for the source of it.
Okay,
but it was actually a call to residents of George and Wilderness.
Yeah.
So it's not really our territory.
Oh, it's basically a different country. I'm going to put up a wall.
Just in case we do make them another state of Sedgefield.
Exactly.
But what they were saying was that there was a tender in another newspaper, the George Herald,
yes,
for people to supply security vehicles to accompany the leadership of the George municipality. Now, I haven't got the exact details.
Yeah.
What they are suggesting in this document, and it may be wrong, it may be right.
Yeah.
But what they are suggesting is that the municipal office bearers in George are looking for blue light brigade.
Yeah.
Now, if that's the case, that's exactly one of those things.
Yeah. Wait.
Why is money being spent on that?
Why? Blah, blah, blah.
You've got to have no potholes. You've got to have no problems with buildings, with infrastructure,
with water, with sewerage,
before you get a blue light brigade for your officials.
You can get that. That's your reward at the end.
Yes, yeah.
If you sort all these other things out.
The George municipality is well known for being efficient and working well. So we hope that that's not the case.
Yeah. But that'd be very interesting to find out more.
I just use that as an example. Those are things that that's not a fit for purpose add-on.
Yes, exactly. And kind of more of what he says around the issues of municipalities is that they are...
When you say he, we're going back to Cyril.
Back to Uncle Cyril, yes, to President Cyril Ramaphosa. Yeah. Just a moment, before it sounds like I'm very critical of him. I don't know if I have come off as that at all.
Not at all, no.
Oh, okay, cool. But man, I really appreciated him during COVID times.
Yes.
I got to say. Yeah. So when he speaks, I do listen, and I want to listen.
Man,
it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, look.
It wasn't great. It wasn't good.
No.
By any measure.
I always
appreciated
used to sit there thinking, imagine if this was Jacob.
Oh my goodness.
Woo!
Yeah.
Anyway,
You sent goosebumps.
We were proud of him then.
Yeah, no, very much so. Man, he has a hard job. So he's saying that many of these municipalities don't have viable or sustainable revenue, and that revenue isn't, that the revenue that they're generating isn't actually being used wisely and well.
Okay.
So they want better reporting and better all of that. I mean, this is a lot of what the Auditor General...
More accountability, basically.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, that was one of the big ones that he does kind of mention in there. He spoke about how they need to work with traditional leaders, local traditional leaders, the municipality. Do you think, because you've been here for at least 80 to 100 years, that you would qualify as a local traditional leader?
A local traditional leader.
You think? What would that
I
qualification
could try.
be?
Oh, it depends what the pay is. I can make up the qualifications as long as the pay is good.
I'll print it out. You know who to go to. So that was just one of the interesting ones.
Yeah.
But the very interesting one is, and it's what we've mentioned a little bit before when we were speaking around tourist season, how much Durban and that area is just struggling infrastructure-wise. The city kind of crumbling, infrastructure, all of that just really struggling. That's the eThekwini municipality.
Okay,
Big municipality there.
I've heard of them, and not in a good way.
That's right. And because it's been brought up, and it was specifically brought up in last year's Sona.
Okay.
That President Ramaphosa was speaking about it there, and just saying that, man, we got to sort this out.
Yeah.
And maybe this is an area of criticism. It is again, but it just continues to be we're going to sort it out.
Yeah. You would have thought if it was mentioned last year, they would have sorted it out by this year.
Yeah. Oh man, but it's how things go. It's how the bureaucracy just chugs,
and it's politics.
So stinking slowly. Which is again why I like this Malay guy from Argentina. He's trying to cut down the red tape, and Uncle Elon. But that's
he's trying to cut down Uncle Elon.
He may be. I don't know. No, he's not. But just looking at what they're doing in that municipality as a kind of model, the eThekwini municipality as a model for the rest of the country, for the struggling municipalities. And I don't know if we fall in that same category as Neisner, because maybe there are worse things happening there. But man, there aren't great things. There are a lot of warning signs, a lot of court cases, a lot of infrastructure crumbling around in our municipality. One of the big ones of this kind of model that he's saying, that President is saying, involves all three spheres of government in the local municipality.
Oh, wow.
So that is local, provincial, and national, and getting all the fingers in that pie.
Oh, wow. Because now we had that, didn't we? Last year, January, we had the provincial government and the national COGT, what was it? COGT, corporate governments. The Department of Corporate Governance or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Something like that.
But yes, this is ringing many a bell.
COGT of national government, and then the provincial government.
Oh yes,
local government.
Okay, I'm completely with you now. Yeah,
they were in our council making a plan to work together. So the one was ANC driven, and the other one was DA driven, obviously.
Yeah.
So maybe Neisner can be used as another example of
That's
that.
it, yeah.
But I don't know if it's worked.
No, I mean, according to the mayor, it has. And he said that it was, they made this plan in August, they're in compliance with it, and then I think it was August or September. He said, we made a plan then, and we're following it through, and everything's just kind of, everything's working just perfectly now. Which I think we can all agree it's not necessarily doing that
at all.
Yeah, so cutting down the red tape and getting locals involved, man.
Isn't it so much about having the right people in authority?
It is, yeah.
You know, we're feeling that with our municipal manager, who's still fairly new.
But I like him.
Yeah, somehow I do as well.
I like how he speaks to both sides. Yeah, all the coalitions.
I've liked that. I must say, and. Well, while we're on the subject, we can talk about the mayor that you spoke about, because we had that thing we discussed last time about there was a vote of no confidence. The VONC. The failed VONC. Brought by Kim, VONC. The party Kim, and then at the last minute, Susan Campbell stepped out. So that she wasn't present, so that the VONC was cancelled. Yeah. What we surmised had happened was that she had not got all the votes that she thought she would. The promises, the numbers.
Yes.
So she decided, because if you have a one VONC, you'll remember that you can't have another one for another 3 months.
Only one VONC. Only one VONC party.
One VONC.
One VONC for 3 months.
So she stepped away so that there wouldn't be this 3 month gap. But now you have a theory, don't you?
But before that theory, that was she confirmed that. Because
Yes,
we
she
were kind of
confirmed that,
positing it as a bit of
yeah.
a theory and
Yes.
saying, but then she came out and she said, yeah, in fact, that morning she had agreements and others were saying that they would abstain
Yes,
from a vote.
that's right, yeah.
But by her accounts, this is not, if this is as official can be from one side,
Yeah.
by her accounts, that was no longer the case, that they were being pressured to vote or they would lose their positions.
Yes, yeah.
And again, that's from her, so we can't say that that's definitely what happened.
Yeah, but that's what
But-
she felt, and that's why she stepped away from the vonk.
Yes.
And then, so
then-
there
and then,
is
yeah.
another opportunity for a vonk.
There is. In
But
fact,
wait.
Yeah, because it's on the cards. It's on the agenda.
Is it on the agenda?
Apparently.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to throw with an apparently because I was a lot more sure of it a few minutes ago that it was on the
Okay.
agenda. But that's Lowe. I can't remember his first name.
Martin?
Thank you, Martin Lowe from EFF, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Is going to be raising the next votes of no confidence. And my theory.
In the mayor?
Oh, yeah, for the mayor.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
wait. This is Chris's theory.
Here it goes.
Okay, go ahead with your theory.
All those hours of practice really paid off, Bob.
Oh, those lessons.
That was beautiful.
So come on, tell us your theory.
I've lost it now. It's too okay.
Martin Lowe.
Martin Lowe,
EFF,
my theory
vote of no
is
confidence.
that they figured it out together. They said, okay, cool, we'll just, we're buddy-buddy, throw in that vote of no confidence, which it's not going to fly through.
Because he's in their
The coalition.
coalition.
The coalition of I can't think of anything else that starts with core.
Crunchies.
Of crunchies.
Yeah.
The crunchy coalition.
The crunchy coalition.
He's in the crunchy coalition.
Okay.
And I think it's for that to say, okay, cool, do that because then no one else can vote me out for 3 months. It's
Oh,
like in
wow.
Survivor where you've got a friend who's like, I'm going to give you the immunity idol.
Yeah.
And then and it's worked in a lot of things. It's a risky move,
but
Jeff.
now, let's look at the sums on this.
Okay.
I'm just thinking. So if he puts in a vote of no confidence,
Yes.
does he therefore have to vote for the vote of no confidence?
Goodness.
Because surely you can't put a vote of no confidence in and then
not
vote against it.
Whoa, that would be
Because
interesting.
if he does have to vote with his vote,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
the
Maybe he doesn't know.
ANC coalition
I don't know. This.
will lose one vote and
Yeah.
the DA coalition will gain one vote.
This could be a crack in my theory if that is the case.
Or it could be a crack in his theory.
Yeah, because you need a seconder as well. Someone who
Yes,
proposes
yeah.
and someone who seconds it. And if both of those have to vote along the lines, maybe
Well,
those
even
would
if one
count-
of them does.
Even if then that would suddenly.
Unless he abstains. No. I don't
No,
know.
because
he
they
could
were
say,
looking
I've
for
had a
abstain."
mind change.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry, I've stepped out for a caucus with myself and I've had a mind change.
Well, that'd be very interesting
brain
to
transplant.
track down.
Yes.
And maybe not raised because that would be very interesting.
Oh, wouldn't it?
Hey,
Just, wouldn't
very
anyway,
dramatic.
Look. When do you know when this meeting is?
I don't.
You don't?
I saw
Okay.
the number for it, the date for it.
Okay.
At some point, but I can't remember now.
Well, if it's
Should be in the next week or two, right?
Yeah, if
Probably
it's-
on
if it's a
Wednesday when the next edition.
Yeah, if it's a monthly meeting, then it will be. We've had one in Feb, haven't we?
No, not in Feb, in January.
Okay, so it'll be at
Yeah.
the end of.
It'll be at the end of February.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere
So
around
maybe it will be this month. I'll see if I can find out while we talk.
Okay.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves
Okay, I'm very sick. I think we should just talk about this for a moment.
about you being sick.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think
no,
we've
no.
really covered that yet.
I think we have.
Oh, have we?
I think we have. Yeah.
Oh, fair
What
enough.
else
Okay.
were we going to talk about? Was there anything else?
No, there sort of was, but instead of that, we know that the next edition of The Age is coming out next week, right?
It is indeed.
It is a
yeah.
new one. Do you have any scoops for us? Anything that we can look forward to in that? What are the percentages in bridge?
Oh no, I can't tell you.
Gosh.
No, nobody will pick up my paper.
Please, someone explain to me what the percentages mean.
I have no
don't
idea.
understand. I don't understand.
No, that's
I'm gonna have to
I
ask
don't know.
Uncle Ken.
Yeah, Uncle Ken will know. Uncle Ken will definitely know.
Yeah. Okay. So have you got any information there, or can we close this off?
We ordinary council meeting. 29th of January. No, they haven't announced the
nothing
next
yet.
one.
Okay.
They haven't announced
Sometimes
the
they
next
just
one.
throw it on the calendar almost last moment. So we watch out for it.
So,
but we'll definitely be reporting on that. Definitely be listening
We
in.
will
and
indeed. We
it's
will
very
indeed.
entertaining.
Yeah. And what else? There was something else we wanted to talk about.
There was something else. I think we're going to jump on it next week, though.
Okay, shall we jump on that next week?
Could you believe it? We're out of time.
Are we out of time?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who would have thought? Huh? We didn't even get to speak about my health issues.
No, we didn't. No.
It's gonna have to be
there's
next
a silver
time.
lining on most clouds, yeah.
All right, but that does it for
thank
this
you
week.
very much. And Chris, I hope you have a healthier week.
Thank you so much, you too.
Thank
Just in
you very
general,
much.
because I feel like it would help you. Thanks for the chat, Bomber.
Good night.